The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
People, I want to start this episode off by giving my condolences to Darren Petition and his family. Darren Petition passed away, I believe, this morning. And if you're from Canada and you've watched SportsCenter day after day after day or night after night after night, you know that guy was not only a true talent and extremely charismatic, but just overall a good dude. A dude who spreaded a lot of smiles, genuinely. And yeah, that one hurts, man. It really does. Subconsciously an inspiration, right? Straight up. One of the best to ever do it. And yeah, again, rest in peace to Dutchie. You were a beauty. You'll always be a beauty. And condolences to his family. And yeah, let's talk about the Canucks and Oilers in Game 5. Let's do Darren Petition some justice, right? For real. Let's make him proud on this episode of Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's giving you Locked On Canucks here at the Don't Doze Art Lab. My name is Kyle Bowen. Trevor Bagg's not with us today, and that's because he is a family man, and rightfully so. Again, that man is the second best dad of the year, and this episode right now of Locked On Canucks, excuse me, is brought to you by GameTime. Yes, GameTime is that place, right? Where you can get your last-minute tickets guaranteed for a cheap price, right? Use Locked On NHL for $20 off your purchase at, again, GameTime.com. Link in the bio. Terms do apply. Game 5. A big day. Huge day. I was thinking about this, right? In recent Canadian hockey history, this may be the biggest game in quite some time. Just the truth. And on that note, let me sip some of my double-double, right? It's a Canadian type of day. The Oilers Canucks Game 5, Rogers Arena. This game matters. The storylines. McDavid, the second-round hump. Can they get over it? The Vancouver Canucks, the extreme underdogs. The underdogs with a lot of talent that is not performing at the top of their game. Can it happen with the series tied at 2-2, right? This game matters so much. I don't know about you, but I'm nervous. But I'm also so excited because once again, this seems like it's one of those games. One of the biggest games in Hockey Canada history. But more specifically, probably the biggest game since 2011, if you really think about it. Again, Oilers Canucks, the rivalry just began, and the series can really swing here. And I don't even know how to say this, but I'm not sure where the momentum really is, right? I think some people may think it's with the Oilers because of their Game 4 heroics. But at the same time, you got to remember that all the pressure is still on them, and the series is tied 2-2. And oh yeah, Archer Shelovs is definitely in their head. Has to be. Because guys like McDavid and Draisaitl would know, super confident guys, by the way, they would know that, again, the goalie that they're shooting on is in the zone. And I don't think he's letting up. Anyways, more on Shelovs a bit later, and also more on Pettersson a bit later, okay? For real. There was such an opportunity here, right? There was an opportunity last night to hop on here and poo-poo on what we saw from Elias Pettersson via his press conference after practice or after a skate or whatever happened at Rogers Arena. But man, oh man, let's not go there, okay? Let's just support the dude. Let's go, Petey. I'm seeing that trend on Twitter. I feel as if a lot of people in the Canuck universe want to make sure Elias Pettersson has a standing ovation before the game even starts. And maybe that will help with his confidence because it's pretty evident that guy is not feeling it. Just the truth. And as D. Anderson is saying, we need to stop blasting Pettersson. We also need to stop prioritizing I don't want to say the importance of Pettersson, but the need for Pettersson as a big key to victory against the Edmonton Oilers because, as I stated yesterday, I truly do believe that this team with Artur Shilovs and company can pull this episode off because good goaltending, elite goaltending can definitely win you a series. Okay. And when you sprinkle in Elias Lindholm and JT Miller into the fold, you still have two pretty talented two-way centers who are doing their thing and playing at the top of their game for your Vancouver Canucks. Now, with that being said, speaking of being at the top of your game, JT Miller probably had his worst game of the playoffs in Edmonton in Game 4. And he texted Rick Tocchet yesterday saying sorry for his performance, right? And his lack of compete and awareness on that final goal by Evan Bouchard with 39 seconds left. And you could see it, right? After the game, JT Miller looked like he was crying. Straight up. He was tearing up. Well, what a competitive dude. What a humble dude. What an accountable dude. A dude who's not scared of the media. Wears his emotions on the sleeve, is fully transparent with the fans, and is making himself into a fan favorite more and more every day. But yes, he wasn't in line of with having one of those JT Miller staple-like games. And here we are going into Game 5, in my opinion, at the cusp of witnessing JT Miller at his best. Yes, again, accountable, and we're about to see something pretty special in a game that really, really matters, okay? I hope that the crowd at Rogers Arena is not nervous. Just give the energy to the people. This is the biggest game since 2011. We're the underdogs. It's all good. The pressure's not on us. Let's put it on the Edmonton Oilers. And JT Miller is going to be a huge part of that. Really is. This may be the JT Miller moment of his Canucks career. There's still so much room for offensive execution, not only for the whole team, but specifically speaking for a guy like JT. Right? We haven't had that 4-point game. We haven't had that 3.5-point game, if you know what I'm saying. How about go bar down again, like you did in Game 3 against Nashville? That JT Miller, that guy. And to drop back to Pettersson again. Pettersson's our third-line center right now. Not that important. Let's put not necessarily the pressure, but let's put the onus on JT Miller to get this done. He's capable, right? Top 10, top 15 player this season. A 100 points, two-way specimen. Now let's have this guy bring it. Let's see this guy have a Draisaitl-like game. He can do it, and I think he's going to do it tonight in Vancouver in Game 5. A game that, again, is one of the biggest games in Canucks history and Hockey Canada history, if you really think about it. And yeah, the biggest game since 2011. I'm not tripping, right? I'm not tripping when I say things like that, right? We don't need to worry about Pettersson. This guy's got 4 points in 10 games. Oh, but that's a reason to worry about him. No, we don't need that. We gotten this far without him. Let's focus on putting our energy on JT Miller having a bounce back game. Because if he does, the Canucks are winning tonight. That's just the truth. Now, I brought up his name earlier as well, right? The other Elias, same thing. And that's Lindholm. And I saw this tweet, and it made me think a lot, okay? And you start thinking about these things. I know that this is kind of scary to think about, right? Because there's so much hockey left to be played. And, we're playing till June. I'm putting that out there, okay? We're winning the Stanley Cup. That being said, when you're 2 wins away from elimination and you got a bunch of UFAs, you start thinking, okay? And you start reading stats like this, okay? And this comes from Big Head Hockey, okay? Elias Lindholm, this postseason in 9 games. 5 goals and 2 assists. More importantly, 0 giveaways. Is that right? His 5 goals is 7th in the NHL in goals this postseason, right? As of yesterday morning. And Charlie Coyle, Jordan Stahl, and Sam Reinhart are the only forwards with more blocks and hits than Elias Lindholm. He has 26 hits and 12 blocks. A two-way demon. Now, he's been inconsistent at being dominant in the faceoff circle, right? But when he's dominant in the faceoff circle, more often than not, the Vancouver Canucks are winning those games. What a player. What a player. And I'll say this, man. the longer and longer the Canucks go with Filip Hronek, that RFA, not putting up any points, the easier it is for me to look at a scenario where the Vancouver Canucks make the decision, right? It's not a Zadorov versus Lindholm thing. It's not that. It's okay, maybe we don't need Hronek because we really need Lindholm. And let's use that money that we were going to give Hronek to Elias Lindholm. Because I'm convinced that he's that guy. That he's that dog. And that's after a brutal regular season. But hey, if the Canucks are going to be competitive and playing games that really, really matter, the games that make your gut turn, right? Your heart beat fast, that give you purpose, they're going to need guys to step up when that's all the case. And Elias Lindholm is proving to be a playoff performer, a.k.a. a guy who elevates, who doesn't get in his head, who doesn't look confused, a guy who goes out there and just does it. You can see it, man. The guy's a fierce competitor. Look at that. 26 hits. In what? 10 games? And a couple of them are thunderous. That's the thing you look at, right? During extended playoff runs. And it's a blessing to have those things go on early in a team's window opening up, because you get to really see who's got it, who's got that dog in them, because it's a different beast in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Lindholm, man, proven a lot of people wrong, proven himself right. And yeah, I'm convinced that I want this guy to be a staple for your Vancouver Canucks, right? Because the window is opening. You don't want to take any step back. And let's be honest, if they don't keep Lindholm, that's a step back. Organizationally speaking, you're not the same team. You don't have that tool in the toolkit, right? Being that deep down the middle and having an orthodox player like like Elias Lindholm. Now, I almost brought up JT Miller's name again. These two players, they play differently, but again, their motor in the Stanley Cup playoffs so far, very similar. And it's hard for me not to say this, right? But you win with guys like that, especially down the middle, who are willing to do the most. And Lindholm and Miller have been proven that this postseason. And this goes back to what I said at the top, right? Let's stop worrying about Elias Pettersson. Let's just support him. Again, let's get the standing ovation off the rip for that guy, EP40. Let's give him the confidence. And you know what? If he doesn't find his confidence, we still have a chance to win this series because of Shelovs, Quinn Hughes, Lindholm, and Miller. Just the truth. Anyways, let's get to some comments. More on the game. On the other side, again, Trevor Begg's not with us because he's the second best dad in the world. I think this guy's on the road again. And where's he going? Nebraska? Idaho? Wisconsin? He's somewhere. Anyways, the comments. Look at this, okay? This is the energy. I said it earlier, right? We're going to win the Stanley Cup. But Tyler M is saying, we're going to win today. Let's focus on today. Game 5, Thursday, May the 16th in Vancouver. Bro, we're blessed. You get to watch a really meaningful hockey game. One that can turn this series upside down. And I think it's going to happen. Your Canucks are going to prove the hockey world wrong because you know it. You know it. The Edmonton Oilers, before the series started, the odds-on favorite, still the odds-on favorite. And after that Game 4 heroic win with 38 seconds left, everyone on Sportsnet, TSN, ESPN, they're thinking this series is over. I feel as if a lot of them are thinking that tonight's going to be an ass kicking for the Oilers, right? They're going to lay the smackdown on Vancouver. How does a young team like the Canucks bounce back from not only 3 straight performances where they were pretty mediocre, but again, a Bouchard goal with 38 seconds? Just the truth. Look at this comment. This is a scary one, okay? Cetos. My gut is saying that Hronek will turn into Darnell Nurse. if they sign him long term. Hey, he's not going to make $9 million. And you know what? Shout out to Rutherford and Alvin, man. This is their pro scouting. And I know they got it wrong on Mikheyev, but I feel as if 80% of the GMs out there, after seeing what Hronek did in the first half of the season, would have given Hronek a big extension, right away. But Rutherford and Alvin obviously saw something, and they held their cards tight. And he's not an $8 million defenseman. I don't even know if I'm lying here, but I'm pretty sure this guy has less than 10 points in his last 30 games. Can somebody check that? Can somebody check that before we get to an advertisement break and put that in the chat so we can talk about it on the other side? Because, man, oh, man, that is a storyline. Anyways, again, Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. Game 5 tonight. Oilers Canucks. Have I been saying Game 5 the whole time? I'm all over the place. Anyways, we'll talk more about the game. Not a lot of structure on tonight's episode or today's episode. We'll get to a lot of your comments. And let's assume the best. Let's go Pettersson. Let's go Canucks. And again, rest in peace to Dutchie, man. This episode's for you, man. And it's just getting started. It really is. Like I said, though, let's get to ads again here on Locked On Canucks.
eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts to choose from for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Woo! Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, baby. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. And items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit only available to U.S. customers.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, a team that's about to play Game 5 against those Edmonton Oilers at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. It's an exciting time, and, I said it earlier, I'm nervous, but I'm also really comfortable as well, all at the same time. And I think that's what happens when you have elite goaltending, and you're also doing your work outside the Don't Doze Art Lab. Yes, the Don't Doze Art Lab is a place that gives you the West Coast bias, and we're lucky to have them support us so we can give you and you and you this show. Again, how are you going to look after the world if you cannot look after your neighbors? And again, a pretty unstructured show. I'm just going to go off the dome. I'm going to read a lot of comments. Trevor Begg's not with us. He's the glue, right? Trevor Beggs is the glue. I'm just a Hindu who's passionate. Fan first. I'm not a reporter. I'm a fan. I'm not a podcaster. I'm a fan. My name's Kyle Bound. Speaking of reporters, though, once again, I see it in the comments. Some people just finding out the news. And, I don't mind showcasing it all episode long because, again, this guy was a legend. Rest in peace, Darren Detition, TSN Sports Center. A great voice, a strong personality. And, again, subconsciously an inspiration. And you know how it goes, right? You know what? I'm no longer 30 and a half years old. I didn't know I was going to say this, okay? I don't like doing these things. But yes, today I turned 31, okay? Boom, bam. And I find out about the news. I'm also reading this book called Tuesdays with Maury. It's an emotional time in life. And I see the Darren Detition news, and it's connecting with me, okay? Because subconsciously, how could this guy not be an inspiration? And I like to do this a lot, and maybe it's not the right thing to do, but I like to, give people ratings. I play too many video games in life not to do this. And just looking back at it, Darren Detition, guy's like 94 overall. Maybe 96 overall. Maybe 92 overall. All in all, really, 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 really talented. And here's the thing that makes him one of the best of all time, okay? Really, really, really talented, night in and night out. Very rarely did that guy have a bad episode. I don't think it ever happened. What a dude. What a dude. Look at this comment from Kurt, okay? 44 tomorrow for me. Happy birthday, Kyle. Hey, happy birthday to Kurt. Well, happy early birthday. One love to you. And yeah, man, one love to life, man. Straight up, man. And not to get super philosophical. I know you guys are here to listen to some hockey talk, but just one love, man. Blessed to be breathing and doing this and sharing this experience with you and you and you and you. Anyways, let's talk more about this game. Let's talk more about She Loves. Okay, I said something really, really bold yesterday, and maybe it pissed some people off. Maybe I pissed them off because this whole recency bias thing in 2024 is truly something else, right? We call everyone the GOAT right away, and we're just so tapped into our phones and social media, and it's just easy to fall for the hype and say some dumb things. But yesterday I did say that She Loves has put together a better stretch of games in the playoffs, all things considered, than Roberto Luongo ever did in his playoff career. And again, I didn't fact check that. I just feel that because every time this guy plays outside of game 1 against Edmonton, I'm just left there thinking that this can't be real. Like, wake me up. How is this guy doing it? And it was one thing to do it against Nashville, and that's, again, beat elite goaltending and, realistically speaking, replace Thatcher Demko and do so with such grace. Right? He doesn't look like a backup. He looks calm, poised, and elite. He looks like a force. And he's in the zone. We've seen this in the past with playoff goaltending. When you're facing a goalie like this or you have a guy like this on your team, you know that this dude can win you a series. Maybe not a cup, but a series. And again, it's one thing to do it against Nashville and Michael McCarron, right, and Jason Zucker. But to do it against Edmonton is something else. And I know. It's not as if this guy's posted shutouts. I'm pretty sure he's allowed 3 or more goals in every single game. But all in all, it's easy to say that this guy's going to keep you in games. And as a goaltender on a team that's facing the Oilers, that's also on a team that has a ton of all-stars, right? Like your Vancouver Canucks. That's all you can ask for. And you think sooner or later, guys like Pettersson, the guys on the power play, you think that Quinn Hughes is going to elevate. Hey, maybe Philip Hronek finally gets a point. And if all those little things happen outside of really elite goaltending, this team can beat the Edmonton Oilers. And it's not going to be through luck. It's going to be through teamwork, okay? I think there's a lot of people out there saying that the Canucks are getting super lucky for being in this series, okay? They're so lucky they have She Loves. Yo, last time I checked, goaltending is a part of teamwork, a part of the equation. I'm not going to apologize for having elite goaltending. But again, I'm not going to not point it out when it's coming from a 23-year-old who also struggled in Abbotsford this year, but has some pedigree, right? Last year in the World Hockey Championships, played in must-win games for his country and put his country on the map. And She Loves just looks like one of those dudes where nothing gets to him. He's confident fully in his abilities, and he's able to muster out all the noise. You got to keep in mind that after his Game 3 epic performance against the Oilers, there was a couple members of that organization claiming that dude, our guy, got lucky. And what did he do in Game 4? He didn't win us the game, but he kept us in the game the whole way through. Score was 2-0. Oilers on the power play in the third period. And this dude's making save after save after save after save. Why? Because he can. And why? Because he wants to. A part of me feels like as if he's in the zone. He knows what's on the line, not only for his team, but his reputation. And he wants to show the hockey world that he's this guy. What a performer. What a performer. Now, I'll say it again, going into next season, and I know I shouldn't be doing this, man, oh man. The goaltending tandem of Demko and She Loves, it's going to be legit. And you start thinking about, and you know what? If I'm talking too much about next year, just post in the comments right now that I'm a dumbass, okay, for doing this. But I think about these things, right? And, there's going to be transition. You can't keep everyone. You might lose a couple players. And I said it 10 minutes ago. That's a step back for this team. But you can definitely mask a couple of those gaps with really good goaltending and buy some time for Alvin and Rutherford to find quote-unquote replacements. Because elite goaltending is a rarity in the NHL. It's a beautiful thing. Well, let's get to the comments and then get to the other side. Man, oh man, cannot wait for Game 5 against those Edmonton Oilers. Hey, while you're here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, I'm trying to take my girl to Cactus Club every week, and a like really goes a long, long, long way. Look at this comment from Mother Nucker, okay? Straight from Texas. After Millsy took accountability for his Game 4 play yesterday, you know he's going to come out on fire tonight. Man has too much pride not to, okay? A super emotional guy. Let's hope that he hones in on that emotion. Let's hope that he doesn't take any penalties. And let's hope that he uses a lot of that emotion for not just physicality and that playoff type energy, but let's get him back to being clinical offensively. You know what I'm saying? Let's have one of those games from that guy. Because I know it's possible, whether it be on the power play or 5-on-5. There's a 4-point game for JT Miller down the road here if the playoffs do extend. Look at this comment from Jacob Cozy, okay? I've never been to Cactus Club. What? Bro, Cactus Club is underrated. It's fine dining, okay? In a weird way. Maybe I'm tripping out. But I love it. Look at this comment from Ingus, okay? What is Archer's value right now after all these games? Well, you know what? Again, in the playoffs, goaltenders get hot. His value is obviously rised, but I think we're going to get a better understanding of his value. And this is crazy to say. Next season, what am I saying, dude? What am I saying? Somebody slapped me across the face. This guy's value's through the roof, man. He's got it. He's got it. Again, 2-1 game. Was it a 2-1 game when this guy came out of his crease to poke check that puck away from Evander Kane on a semi-breakaway? This guy's got the balls, bro. Doing that for the Vancouver Canucks, pressure cooker, doing this all against the Edmonton Oilers, McDavid and Draisaitl, generational talents. I'm telling you, this dude he's on his way, man, to being really, really, really elite. Really, really, really elite. Something else. It's astonishing, man, and still so surprising. And this comment from Ingus, too, it's going to get us talking. We'll talk more about this after the break. But if Demko is back this week, what do we do with Archer, Shelovs? Do we bench him or keep him in the net? I have a theory, okay? I think Demko is really, really close. I think he's maybe a day away from practicing. Maybe he practices tonight, quote unquote, right? Or today, I'm sorry. Maybe he could be available for Game 6. Let's say the Canucks win Game 5, and let's say Shelovs does his thing. I wouldn't be super surprised if Rick Tocchet threw a curveball and put Demko in net for Game 6 if he's healthy. I know that sounds crazy, right? It's not a do or die game. If we win tonight, we're up 3-2. Why would you put Demko ahead of Shelovs if you're in the zone? My theory would be to do so because Edmonton is clicking, right? They're doing a lot of things offensively. They're generating a lot of chances. Maybe, just maybe, if Tocchet throws that curveball, the boys in front of Demko will tighten up, Almost swore there. Because maybe they throw Demko in net, and it does something, philosophically speaking, to the boys in front of them. They all love Thatcher Demko. Maybe they tighten it up. Maybe they block more shots, right? And put on one of those performances like Nashville did in Game 2 against us, where everything is blocked because they want to protect Demko. They want to ease that guy into the lineup, a guy who's worked hard to get back, and it equates to a in Game 6 for your Canucks. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I could see it. I could really see it. As Evil is saying, okay, maybe they throw Demko in against Edmonton, and Edmonton gets spooked. You never know. Anyways, let's get to another break and then end the show off with more comments. Man, oh man. It's happening, man. Game 5 today. May the 16th, Thursday. 7 o'clock, man. The biggest game since 2011 at Rogers Arena. What a time to be alive. Let's shout out one of our sponsors, GameTime, and get back to this conversation here on Locked On Canucks.
You know the deal. Your boy Begsy here. I'm a cheap guy, okay? And that's why when I'm looking for tickets at the last minute, there's nowhere I'm going but Game Time. See, I love Game Time so much, I almost broke my mic, man. Unbelievable. But Game Time, they got my back, okay? Nicole at Game Time always teasing me with concerts and events this week in my area. Not only are those weekly emails a tease, but I know that Game Time and Nicole also offer me flash deals on last-minute tickets. What's even better than that, and this is the number one reason I use Game Time, is I get the lowest price guarantee, okay? They also got event protection cancellation, so if the world ends, you're going to get your money back. And with that lowest price guarantee, if you find tickets for cheaper elsewhere, Game Time will credit you with 110% of the difference because they got your back, okay? There's nowhere else to go when you're looking for tickets, especially playoff tickets. Whether you're an Oilers fan and whether you're a Canucks fan, it don't matter, okay? Game Time, they don't discriminate, okay? So make sure you go download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price. Guaranteed.
Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Welcome to the Don't Totes Art Lab and the Locked On Podcast Network for giving us the space to do this, and that's talk to you and you, and you and you, and you and you. And speaking of which, you and you have definitely carried this episode, okay? A lot of comments going on, and you guys are giving me the prompts to do a lot of talking, and we're going to end the show off with even more comments. So ask away, okay? Straight up, ask away. Let's keep it going, man. Any questions, any concerns? What are you doing for the game tonight? What are you drinking tonight? What's the meal of choice? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you? Again, I'm really nervous, but I'm also really calm. Shelovs and Miller helping me out. A daunting task, okay? The Oilers trying to bump the slump, trying to get rid of all these nightmares. A lot of pressure on them, also a lot of experience with them, right? The easy choice is to pick them in this series, right? Maybe, just maybe, they're close to putting the nail in the coffin, okay? They've strung the Canucks along for long enough, and here they are about to assassinate us. But man, oh man, I really truly do believe that with elite goaltending and Shelovs being in the head of the Oilers somehow, some way, and with Miller being accountable, there is definitely a chance for the Canucks to do something pretty special tonight. Now, speaking of special, no, I'm not going to bring up Elias Pettersson right now. I'm going to bring up Quinn Hughes. Quinn effing Hughes. It's must-win time. And, most of the postseason, we've seen, Quinn Hughes play not an extreme amount of minutes, okay? There's been a game or two, where he's 25 minutes here, 27 minutes there. But I definitely do think it's time for Taka to lean on his captain, lean on the Norris winner a bit longer, a.k.a. all the time in a game, okay? Where's this 30-minute Quinn Hughes game, okay? As a Canucks fan, and a Canucks fan for a very, 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 very long time, I'm waiting to see that, because for years and years and years and years, and for nights and nights and nights and nights, when the going gets tough and we're playing playoff games, and we're playing the likes of Drew Doughty, Duncan Keith, etc., we're seeing these guys play 30 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are on the ice for half the game. Similar to what Edmonton's been doing a couple times with McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard and company. Let's do the same for Quinn Hughes. Now, Quinn Hughes, over the last 2 games, calm, poised, and elite. I feel as if he has found his timing. He's more elusive than he's been in quite some time. And with the amount of scrambling the Vancouver Canucks are doing in their zone, I think it's again time to lean on their leader, their alpha, and their most special player for a lot of minutes. Let's not balance out this ice time. Let's stop doing that. It's a best out of 3 in the second round. Playing Draisaitl and McDavid. put the pressure on Quinn Hughes. And he'll handle it. It's the little things. You can see it in his game. He's on his way to being that guy again. What guy? One of the best players in the world, In October, in November, and maybe like in January, Beggsy and I were saying this a lot, right? Quinn Hughes, generational. Quinn Hughes, the McDavid of defense, the way he was playing, the way he was controlling play, the way he was dictating the pace of a hockey game. That's possible. Really possible for Quinn Hughes. Let's have that happen tonight. Do you want to talk about Pettersson? Do you want to talk about that press conference now? Sort of, kind of, not really, okay? If I did an episode last night, after watching that, it would have been a little pessimistic. It would have been a little irrational, okay? It wouldn't have been very supportive of our third-line center, Elias Pettersson, Mr. 11.6. But if you haven't done so, do yourself a favor or a non-favor by watching Pettersson's press conference from last night. It was truly entertaining for various number of reasons. This all being said, again, on Twitter right now, it is trending, and that is Let's Go Petey, a guy who has 4 points in 10 games. And I think it's trending because there's a large part of the fan base, right, who's got that West Coast bias in their veins, who wants the game to start with a standing ovation for Elias Pettersson. They want that same type of energy Rogers Arena gives JT Miller, right, with those JT Miller chants. They want that same energy for Pettersson. And it kind of lines up with what I've been saying about Pettersson too, right? We want this guy to be the alpha. We want this guy to dig himself out of this hole, all this jazz. We want him to carry Ilya Mikheyev and Linus Karlsson and whatnot, all that jazz. And it makes sense, right? 11.6, you're the guy. Elite players are drivers, all that jazz. But you can tell this guy is not confident right now. He's down and out. And as mentioned in this book right here, Tuesdays with Maury, right? Sometimes we need help. The best of the best need help too. Real talk. Maybe he can't do it on his own this time around. Maybe down the road when he's a bit older, he'll be more efficient digging himself out of a hole. But it's okay for him to be aided, given a hand, whether it be with better line mates or, again, the support of the people when it's not even deserved. A shifting type of game for that guy can't happen tonight. I'll keep saying that till the end of it, okay? He's on our team. He's on our team. He's repping the blue and green. He's repping the city. And we know it. We know it. It's crazy how the Vancouver Canucks have gotten to Game 5 against the Oilers in Round 2 tied with a third-string goalie and Mr. 11.6, Elias Pettersson, their alien, their franchise, the guy who switched the whole narrative for the Canucks. Remember where you were years and years and years and years ago, right after the Sedins retired. Who was there to give you that hope that, oh man, we might get out of this slump? Because that's what happens, right, when you have an elite number one center. And in seasons 1, for Pettersson, he gave you that hope. He's the guy who changed the narrative. He's that guy. Look what he did last year. Look what he did in the bubble playoffs. He's that guy. He can do this. I don't think he can do it alone, though. And I'm not even mad at myself for saying that, because in the past, maybe when I was younger, I would put all the pressure on the guy who's getting paid 11.6 to get this done, right? I would be yelling at him. You dude, drag Mikheyev with you. All these things. But again, right now, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Elias Pettersson is not going to do this alone. So let's have 18,000 people scream his name tonight at Rogers Arena. And let's elevate his game together. Speaking of together, who's going to be on his line? Lekaramaki, am I hearing that? Podkolzin, am I hearing that? RT Baines, Hoaglander, who knows? Who knows? But one thing is for certain, and I guarantee it, and I will smash my computer screen if I do see this, but there's no way Mikheyev can be on his line, right? I think the practice lineup or this game day skate or whatnot will tell us who will be on Pettersson's line in like an hour, but man, oh man, I will smash my computer screen if it is Ilya Mikheyev. Come on. 1 goal in 60 games. He can't do it. You can't do it with Mikheyev. You can't have two anchors on one line. And right now, Pettersson is an anchor. He needs a hand. Anywho, let's get to the comments, okay? Matt Folger, Mikheyev has to go. Change the energy on that line. Please. Now look at this comment from So How You Doing? I'd say Podkolzin plays with Petey. Pettersson's also been pushed around too much as well. I guess So How You Doing is saying Podkolzin can bring some physicality to the group, to Pettersson's line. Now look at Martin, okay? Play Pettersson with Baines and Lekaramaki. Is that what you're saying? RSD Baines, Game 5 against the Oilers, playing in the top 6. Are you serious? That's something else. How about this, though, man? Fast-footed done? Am I saying that right? Fast-footed one, my bad. He's saying that I doubt anyone wants Pettersson on their line right now. He brings negative energy. I get where the sentiment is coming from, okay? I really do. Again, Pettersson yesterday, go watch the press conference. A lot of short answers. His longest answer, and it wasn't even that long, did come when asked about his line mates, which to me is, yeah, not the biggest fan of that. But like I said 5 minutes ago, this guy needs help. We can dwell on it. We can ask this guy to do everything. We can ask this guy to step up. We can ask Pettersson to just man the beep up and get your ish together. But we got to win hockey games, okay? Philosophically speaking, let's do some philosophical training or just lean on that method of improvement in the offseason. Right now, let's help them. They help Pettersson, they will help the Canucks. Look at Kurt Richardson, okay? Hoglander, Pettersson, and Podkolzin. I could see that, but did you hear Talkit yesterday? Okay, he said he wants to swing for the fences. Does that mean Lekaramaki? I don't see it, man. Lekaramäki's played a handful of North American games. He's been traveling a lot too. In a physical series, you want to put Lekaramaki out there? I don't know, man. Against Draisaitl and McDavid? I don't know. Look at D. Anderson, okay? How come no one agrees with putting Zadorov as a forward for a game? I think I saw a comment earlier talking about how he could be like the next Dustin Byfuglien. I don't know, man. Dustin Byfuglien was an outlier. I mean, realistically speaking, if Dustin Byfuglien was healthy / just hockey focused, and I'm not taking a shot at Dustin Byfuglien when using that statement. I'm just saying in general, like if he was just committed to having one purpose, and that's being the best hockey player he could be, we're talking about a Hall of Famer. We really are. We're talking about a jack of all trades. We're talking about one of the hardest hitting players in hockey and a guy who could put up a lot of points. Oh, what a player. What a player. How about this too, man? From Fast Footed One. Great comments today, okay? Behind the scenes, I bet Miller is in Pettersson's face. The leaders on this team need to take this on themselves. I'm wondering if Quinn Hughes, let alone JT Miller, is not necessarily in Pettersson's face, but are they talking to him? The guy seems pretty lonely. Can somebody take this guy to Amsterdam Cafe or Cactus Club and pay for the bill? Man, oh man. Callum Sandu with the comment, Lekaramaki. Let's see what the lineup looks like. Again, in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I'm pretty sure we'll find out the news. And if Lekaramaki is playing tonight, I'll make an episode, okay? We'll be back on the live. 100%. I cannot fathom seeing Lekaramaki tonight. That would be that would be something else. Like we're already having Shilovs in net. And Lekaramaki, are you serious? That's something else, man. Anyways, my name's Kyle Bowen, KYLEBHAWAN. Thanks for joining us. I did see Trevor Beggs in the comments earlier doing his thing, causing up a ruckus. And again, being the second best dad in the world. And look at what he's saying right here. Sexy ass birthday boy. Yes, it's my 31st birthday today. I no longer am 31 or 30 and a half years old. But hey, tomorrow I will be 31 and a half years old. And I can't wait for that. One love to life. One love to all of you and you and you and you and you for tuning in, and the Locked On Podcast Network for giving us the culture, right? Giving us that mantra, your Canucks every day. Here's another reminder to read this book, Tuesdays with Maury. You can thank me later. And speaking of giving thanks, rest in peace to Darren Petition, paving the way, adding a ton of personality to Canadian broadcasting and sportscasting, and consistently just bringing it. Again, 94 overall, 96 overall, sometimes 99 overall, night in and night out. The dude's consistency was, again, looking back at it, something that I should have appreciated more and more in the moment. But that being said, his legacy will live on, and condolences to his family. Yeah, that one hurts. What a hero. And let's just all get better. Every single sportscaster, podcaster, broadcaster in Canada, let's all get better for Darren Petition. And let's just end it on that note, man. Rest in peace to Darren Petition. One love to you. And yeah, go Canucks, go. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team